It's so good to see so many saints in the church. I see all these little saints walking around. I can't wait to hear who you are, so I can really, give you the honor due to you as Saint so-and-so, right? On this Feast of All Saints, I hope that everyone here has that goal in mind, that goal of becoming a saint, because this day, this Feast of All Saints, is our feast day, or to make it more correct, our future feast day, I hope. That's my hope. Why? Because every one of us is called to be a saint. Not one of us in this church is called to be anything less than a saint. So all the saints that the church has, which are canonized, which is in the book of the Martyrology of the Church, is about 10,000, roughly 10,000 saints. But there are so many more saints that are unknown, unnamed, and that's what this feast celebrates, is all of those who are in heaven, who have not been canonized by the church, but have been given their eternal glory with God for all eternity. And so, in the 21st century that we are living in, what is the best way for us to become a saint? Is it to do what St. Anthony in the desert did in the 4th century and turn our backs on the pleasures of the world and live apart from society? Is it to do what St. Francis did in the 13th century and turn our backs on the material wealth and preach the gospel wherever we can find a crowd and a soapbox? Or is it to do something like St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, when what she did in the 19th century, where she raised a family and then spent the rest of her life working with the society's sick and needy? Well, the simple answer to all of these questions is a very emphatic no! Exclamation point. And the reason is because you don't become a saint by doing what God made somebody else to do. You become a saint by doing what God made you to do. Remember, He made each one of us uniquely to accomplish the task in this life to bring us to glory as a saint. So, if you are a parent, that's exactly the way God intends you to become a saint, by being the best parent you can be. If you are a student, that's exactly the way God intends you to become a saint, by being the very best student that you can be. If you're an elderly couple, that's exactly the way God intends you to become a saint, by being the best elderly couple you can be. So let me put this into perspective by giving you a very concrete example of how this can take place. Think about this. There was an elderly couple who lived on a large corner lot near an elementary school. And the children from the school had the habit of cutting across the corner of their lawn. And that wore an ugly path through their grass, because every day those students would walk across that same path. At first, this merely annoyed the couple, but after a while, it angered them. And the couple realized that something had to be done. See, if it was me, I would realize something had to be done too. And being me, I would have walked out there and I said, "Hey, you get your butts off of here. I don't want you walking on my lawn anymore. I don't want you doing this." Because that's the sinful character that I am. But this couple realized that the situation was poisoning their attitude toward the children and destroying their peace of mind. So they came up with a different solution. First of all, they had a load of crushed gravel brought to their house, and they made a path out of crushed gravel. And then they lined the path with flowers. And then they put a bench on the side of the path. And on the afternoons, when the school let out, that elderly couple went and sat on the bench. And they greeted the children as they passed by, walking to and fro from the school. The response of the children was utterly amazing. They stopped and thanked the old couple for the path. They even asked the names of the flowers. And sometimes they sat down to talk to the couple. In short, the couple turned an unhappy situation into a very happy one. And I think this is exactly what Jesus meant in the gospel when he said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." It means to turn a potentially angry situation into a delightfully happy one. And that's the making of saints, when we can do the good instead of turning to the evil. It means to turn a potentially angry situation into a delightfully happy one. So if you doubt what it means to be a saint in today's world, reread the Beatitudes, because the Beatitudes spell out in a very simple term the guidelines that we should use to live our lives. And if we live out these guidelines like that elderly couple chose to do, Jesus will someday say to us what he said to the people of his time in the Sermon on the Mount, which we just heard. Blessed are you. The kingdom of God is yours. And it's at that moment that we become a saint.